Yo, what's good, family? How y'all doing? This is Mario Matthews, owner and operator of Minutes Till Dawn Productions and author of the new book, Dream No More, Rise of a Lion. If you like sci-fi, fantasy, anime, and you're a blurred like me, hey, check this book out. It's right up your alley, man. You can go right now to Amazon.com where you can purchase the paperback and the e-book version, and you can go to Lulu.com right now to get this hardback version. Dream No More, Rise of a Lion in stores now. So I would like to take the opportunity to talk about this topic, something that's very, very important, to talk about in regards to, the black community. And as you might have guessed, a lot of things have been happening over the weekend and stuff. It's very, very tough weekend for us, man. And a lot of people getting over it. A lot of people coming to terms, and I'm one of them. I'm talking about Nipsy Hussle's murder. First and foremost, rest in peace. Rest in peace, Nipsey. Nipsey forever. That's real talk. And I want to talk about his last tweet. Having strong enemies is a blessing. I really believe that Nipsey was far, far ahead of his time. Not just in, his approach to the black community, working together with people and just touching people from all over the world, all walks of life. But he was also ahead of his time when it comes to the development of the black community and how we are maturing into a community that has established goals and interests that empowers ourselves. Now, what do I mean when I say this? Well, when I think about his quote, having strong enemies is a blessing, I can't help but to finish the quote in my mind. Having strong enemies is a blessing because in your moments of strength and clarity, you'll realize something. You'll realize something profound. You'll realize that you'll need stronger families and communities in order to overcome that challenge. It's well-known knowledge at this point that Nipsey Hussle was on the grind all the time, man. He owned multiple businesses, many of which that were, hitting the curve as far as technology. We're talking opening the first app store, that interactive store with, new technologies and helping people in the hood of Los Angeles get into STEM programs. Man, he was going hard. He was going hard in the paint. You know what I'm saying? And he was definitely not the type of person to make himself exclusive. I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory as well. But I'd like to talk about the community that he impacted, because there's a lot of things happening right now that are, very, very profound, that he left a mark on us. You know what I'm saying? For example, he really shown us a side of our community that many people don't believe exists. There are people in the black community, everyday people, who would do the exact same thing Nipsey Hussle did if they had the same means to do so. A lot of people don't think that because they've been bombarded with all kinds of media, which is why, our company exists, Minutes Till Dawn Productions. A lot of people don't really think that black people have the capacity, the strength and profound, wisdom within us that exists within us to not only overcome those challenges of strong enemies, but to do what is necessary in order for us to become strong enough to do so. We have a lot of people around us who think about the word black, and the only thing they think about is every negative stereotype in a book. You see what I'm saying? And it plays out in real life. A lot of people don't think that these images don't, the zeitgeist of our society that permeates our media, our music, the things that we consume. A lot of people don't think that these have effects on them in everyday life. However, the past couple of days prove otherwise. Now, what do I mean? During Nipsey Hussle's own vigil in LA, in front of the store that he owned on the land that he owned, a candle was dropped, and people thought it was a gunshot, and people stampeded away in this sort of herd-like mentality, injuring folks and stuff like that. Come on, man, really? Even the law enforcement agencies, the cops out there were saying, man, there was no gunshot. Somebody dropped something, and next thing you know, people started stampeding over each other. Like, are we really at the point? I mean, do I really have to ask that question? It's kind of rhetorical, but are we really at the point where we are so fragile and scared of any little thing that we can't even mourn without the fear of the worst happening? But it's perfectly fine, because this is the snapshot within time that we need in order to put things into perspective. Why is that? Because without these moments of clarity, we cannot realize just how strong that we are. To have this particular instance happen, and to see the sheer outpour of our community trying our best to support each other, to bring about a sense of clarity and dignity to the situation, regardless of how it unfolds. We all are not inherently evil. Yeah, we have to, time and time again, defend ourselves against these particular, we have to defend ourselves against all the craziness that exists within our society. You know what I'm saying? when it comes to white supremacist tropes of black people, when it comes to the internalized self-hatred and ignorance that exists within our communities, when it comes to our own faults and inadequacies. These things are not only a hindrance, but they are a plague upon us. And yet, in order to overcome weakness, you have to understand it. And that's why these moments in time are important. You feel me? Now, with that being said, we can learn some valuable lessons from this situation. And we can celebrate Nipsey Hussle's life and his accomplishments, because without Nip, a lot of the things that happen in the rap industry, a lot of the people that exist in the rap industry, there would be a bigger void than we think there would be. Especially for the neighborhood of Los Angeles. You know what I'm saying? I've never been there. I know people who lived there, and I know people who, made a living, had businesses and stuff in that area. I do know people. And I also realized just how much more helpless people would be without, Nipsey Hussle's contribution. But we can't stop there. We cannot let his death be in vain, regardless of the circumstance. He gave us a blueprint. He gave us marching orders. And we already had an agenda for the black people who already are on their toes, who have their heads on straight. We already know the deal. There is no lapse in the plan. There is no confusion about what should happen next. It is our responsibility to continue the work that we have always been doing. We not only owe it to Nipsey Hussle, but we owe it to every single person that has come before us. We owe it to our ancestors who are the descendants of American slaves. We owe it to all those freedom fighters who died trying their best to protect us, to liberate us, to do what is necessary and make the necessary sacrifices for us to get where we are today. The fight continues. The battle continues. We may have lost a soldier. We may lose a general. We may lose a commander. But that fighting spirit that exists within us, that commands that we move forward on a path to our destiny, the path that we lay for ourselves as a community, that ain't never gonna die. It's never gonna die. So we gotta keep moving. We gotta keep going. We can't let this slow us down. I'm Mario Matthews. I am the owner and operator of Menace Till Dawn Productions and author of the book, Dream No More, Rise of a Lion. You can pick this up right now. It is a sci-fi fantasy novel. I created this for my blurs out there because I'm a blurred myself. I always thought, hey, I could do it myself. You know what I'm saying? Playing video games growing up, you know, watching movies and anime and all that stuff. I always thought, man, you know what? I have the ability to do this. I have the ability to create these products myself, create these stories and these worlds and these characters, and I know I can do it because it exists within me. It's a fire that burns within my soul. So I did it. And I got to continue this thing because I really love doing it. This is what my life is. Please, if you like to support, you can pick it up at Amazon.com. E-Book and Paperback is available on Amazon, and on Lulu.com. You can also pick up the hardback. Please like, please share, please subscribe. And thank you for everything. Y'all take care. Everlast. Nipsy Hussle forever.